Hello, and thank you for joining me for another episode of You Would Think. Today, we are kind of transitioning from the Lindsay Clancy a little bit, and I was interested in the Tupac trial with Duane Kefee D Davis, who is on trial not for murder, but for orchestrating the killing or shooting and for providing the gun that was ultimately used. And I've already posted a couple of videos regarding like the medical examiner, Suge Knight's head of security for the 662 Club, and also the guy who, I think is Leonard, who asserts he was more than likely the last person to take a picture of Pac alive. So let me do full disclosure. I'm not an attorney. I do not have a law degree. My degree is in crime scene technology and forensics. True crime and trials have always been a bit of a hobby. So I thought, why not make a YouTube channel where with people who also like these things, and that way we can communicate about them and we can engage, and I can also hear things from your perspective, which I thoroughly enjoy. So comment down below any questions or anything that you would like, and let's jump into this. A little bit of background for newer viewers. Tupac Shakur, right? In 1996, he was leading the MGM Grand from a Mike Tyson fight that he didn't actually even attend, but he was there for that fight. As they were leaving the MGM Grand, Tupac and his entourage got into a physical altercation with a guy. Everybody had nicknames. So this was Baby Lane Anderson, who is the nephew of Duane Davis, who is the one on trial right now. And the prosecutors allege that because, when Pac left the MGM Grand, Suge Knight was driving, Pac was in the passenger seat, and a vehicle pulled up inside of them and started shooting. Ended up hitting Tupac 5 times. That's kind of ultimately where that ended. There's been tons of speculation for 30 years. There's been, but this individual, Davis, who the police had already was moving towards earlier in the early 2000s, because they alleged that to get retaliation against Tupac for beating up his nephew at the MGM Grand that night. That's just a little bit of background. The witness we're going to hear from today is Malcolm Greenidge, and he is a childhood friend and professional friend of Tupac Shakur. They all came to Las Vegas together to attend the Mike Tyson fight, and afterwards there were a few other performers as well as Tupac that were set to perform at the Suge Knight's 662 Club, and that's where they were heading, when they were stopped at that red light and that car pulled up in front of them or on parallel of them and started shooting. He said, nobody attended the fight. There were other circumstances, like he was waiting for a phone call from Tupac to let him know when he was ready, but the call never came. So, he establishes a few details that we have not previously heard. Some of the information, though, like, for instance, Suge Knight was the head of Death Row Records, which was the label that had signed Tupac. And at that light, before he was shot, Malcolm Greenidge, the witness, was in the vehicle behind them. So he saw the shooting occur and said that he was horrified to see this. I mean, this is his friend, you know. He says, you know, they get out of the car to go check on Pac, but all of a sudden Suge Knight, like, floored it and made a U-turn and eventually just came to a stop at an intersection. And at that point is when Malcolm and his friends got out to check to see if Tupac was okay. And he said that Tupac told him, "Get down, they'll shoot you." And then he turns around and sees a shotgun in his face from a cop. I don't know. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know, but that's what he said. There's always been some speculation that cops were involved because they wanted to end the East Coast, West Coast gang battle type thing. And there's just been so much speculation that it's just kind of absolutely rampant. But this witness said that that's what Pac told him, saying, "Get down, they'll shoot you." And then turns around, sees a gun in his face, and at the other end of that gun is a cop. Obviously, Pac eventually dies from his wounds. And again, like I said, I had posted a video that shows the medical examiner's testimony if you are interested in seeing that. He says he gave a statement to police. He talks about how Pac was unhappy with Death Row Records, potentially trying to maybe give a different reason that this occurred. And I guess Death Row Records is still around today. He said some of the people that were signed to them at the time was like Snoop Dogg and MC Hammer and a few other artists. He doesn't remember his statement from 30 years ago when asked. It's understandable. So that was the majority of this witness's testimony as it relates to this crime. Like I said, Davis is not being charged with murder. He's being charged with orchestrating the events that occurred and providing the gun, alleging that his nephew, Baby Lane Anderson, who had just got beaten up by Tupac and his entourage, was the one that fired the gun. But unfortunately, Baby Lane has been dead for over a decade. And Davis decided to write a book in 2019. And that is what led to his arrest. And again, the prosecution just alleges that he did this because it was retaliation for Pac and his entourage beating up his nephew, who he claims ultimately he handed the gun to and shot at Tupac and hit him 5 times.
First name Malcolm, MALCOLM, GREENIDGE. It's my last name.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Greenidge. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Paul, you may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Greenidge.
Good morning.
Sir, is it fair to say that you were initially resistant to attending court?
That is fair.
And in fact, we had to get a compelling order to get you to come here. Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
And so you're here because a court in California ordered you to come here.
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask you about somebody by the name of Tupac Shakur. Did you know Mr. Shakur?
I did.
How did you know him?
He was a childhood friend, a family member, big brother, mentor. The list goes on and on.
Is it also fair to say that you guys work professionally together?
We did.
Can you tell us about that?
I had a dream to be a rapper. Mr. Shakur saw something in me, and he agreed to, help me make that dream come true. So I was in a group called Outlaws.
And is it fair to say that the Outlaws produced a number of CDs with Mr. Shakur and outside of Mr. Shakur as well.
We did release an album with Mr. Shakur.
I'm going to direct your attention to the weekend of September 1996, specifically September 7th of 1996. Did you come out here to Las Vegas?
Yes, we did.
Why?
It was a Mike Tyson fight out here that we were supposed to attend, and then there was a party performance afterwards.
What vehicle did you come here in?
We came here in the Lexus. It was Kadada Jones's car.
And who was Kadada Jones to Tupac Shakur at
She
that
was
time?
Tupac's fiance at the time.
Did Tupac drive in with you, or did he drive separately?
He did. He drove with us.
In the same vehicle?
Yes.
Where were you staying?
Where did we stay?
Yeah.
In Las Vegas?
Yeah.
We stayed at the Luxor.
And did any other members of your rap group, the Outlaws, come as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Who came?
Two more of my childhood friends, Raphael Fuller and Katari Cox.
Did you end up going to the fight?
No.
Why?
Well, during that day, Tupac was gambling, enjoying Vegas. He made some money when we got back to the hotel. He said, we're going to go change. I'm going to call y'all when I'm ready. And we're going to go to the fight. And we never got that phone call.
So you ended up staying at the Luxor.
No.
What did you end up doing?
We ended up trying to meet up with Mr. Shakur. We knew where the fight was at, obviously. So when we didn't get the phone call, we just left to go, get with him.
Now, there's a video, which I'm sure you're familiar with, of the incident between Mr. Shakur and other members of his group that were at the fight and somebody by the name of Orlando Anderson. Were you there during any of that?
No.
Did you at some point leave the MGM and go back to the Luxor?
Yes. We never really made it into the MGM. As we were approaching the MGM, Tupac and Suge was coming out.
Okay. So, and then did you leave with Tupac and Suge and everybody that was leaving the MGM?
Correct.
Now, you had mentioned a concert or performance that was supposed to happen later that night. Was that at Club 662?
Yes.
At some point, do you leave to go to Club 662?
We do.
What vehicle did you go to Club 662 in?
The same car I drove to Vegas in.
And that was that Lexus?
Correct.
Was Tupac in the car with you then?
No.
What car was Tupac in?
Tupac was riding in the car with Suge Knight.
And who was Suge Knight to you? How did you know who Suge was?
He was the CEO of the label that Tupac Shakur was signed to.
And was that Death Row Records?
Correct.
Were you aware of there being more than two cars? Were there a number of cars headed towards Club 662?
There was a caravan of cars. How many? I don't know.
And position-wise, where were you relative to Mr. Shakur and Mr. Knight's car?
Right behind him.
Now, I'm going to take you to the shooting. While you're stopped at the lights on Flamingo and Koval, does something happen?
Yes.
Do you notice a vehicle pull up next to Mr. Shakur, Mr. Knight's vehicle?
Well, yeah.
Can you tell us what you see?
We were at a light. Mr. Shakur and Suge Knight was talking to some young ladies. We couldn't hear what they was talking about. When those young ladies pulled off, another car pulled up and started shooting at Mr. Shakur and Mr. Knight. And
do you recall what kind of car that was?
It was a light-colored white Cadillac.
And do you recall, was it a two-door or four-door?
It was a four-door.
And when you saw the shooting, did somebody get out of the car and start shooting, or were they shooting from inside the vehicle?
The shots came from inside the vehicle.
And was it from the front or back seat?
It was from the back seat.
Okay. And did you see the arm or the gun or anything like that?
The arm and the gun attached to that arm.
And were you able to make an assessment of whether the person whose arm was out was white, Asian, Hispanic, or African American? In terms
From my vantage point, they appeared to be African American.
What's your reaction when you see the shots?
I'm horrified.
And I'm sorry, I don't think I asked this question. Who was in the Lexus with you at that point?
Security, Frank Alexander, Yafael Fula, and Katari Cox.
So, two of the fellow members of the Outlaws, and then a security guard named Frank Alexander.
Right.
What do you guys do in the immediate aftermath of the shooting?
We started to get out of the car to go check on Tupac. And, yeah, that's what we did.
Do all of you make it to Mr. Shakur, Mr. Knight's car?
No.
Does anybody make it to Mr. Shakur, Mr. Knight's car? What happens?
Suge pulled off, made a U-turn.
Or do you guys follow them, or do you drive off someplace else?
No, we followed them.
And that's why do you guys have to make a U-turn to follow them? Does Mr. Knight's car stop ultimately at an intersection?
It does.
What happened? Are you following him to that intersection?
We were.
What happens when you stop at that intersection?
We get out of the car to go check on Tupac.
And are you able to make it to Tupac's vehicle?
No.
Why not?
When we approached the car, Mr. Shakur said to me, get on the ground, they're going to shoot you. And when I turned around, there was a shotgun in my face.
And who was holding the shotgun?
Police officer.
So what do you do?
I got on the ground.
Were you able to observe any of the injuries to Mr. Shakur at that time?
I could not see the injuries to Mr. Shakur.
Were you able to see any of the injuries to Mr. Knight?
His head appeared to be bleeding.
And how is it that you were able to see Mr. Knight's injuries?
Because he was out of the car asking for help for Tupac.
So then you're at basically the wrong end of a shotgun from a police officer and on the ground. How long are you in that situation for?
It seemed like forever.
Are you able to observe the events that are going around you?
I can hear.
And what do you see? Does medical ultimately arrive to help Mr. Shakur, Mr. Knight? And are they transported away from the scene?
Right.
And then at some point, are you asked by police officers to give a statement?
I am.
And do you give a statement?
I do.
And do you, it's fair to say, or is it fair to say, that you weren't able to see the faces of the people in the Cadillac?
That's correct.
And so you couldn't identify who was there, who was in the car.
Silhouettes.
Okay. I'm gonna, Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
I'm gonna show you what's been previously admitted as grand jury exhibit number 150. Do you recognize any of the folks in this picture?
I recognize two of them.
Okay, and there's a mouse there right next to you. Don't click on it, but if you can drag it to the people you recognize and tell us who they are.
That's me. That's Katari Cox.
And Katari Cox was one of the other artists who was part of your...
Correct.
One thing that's come up, you've obviously, in the 30 years of losing your friend and family member, Mr. Shakur, I'm sure you've been exposed to a lot of the rumors or innuendo associated with his passing. Is that fair to say?
I've heard it all.
Okay. One of the things is that Mr. Shakur was upset with his situation at death row. Have you heard that?
I have.
And was Mr. Shakur somebody that you had spent a lot of time with professionally and personally?
Correct.
Was he somebody that would tell you what his plans were and whether or not he was upset with his current situation or
He
not.
shared a lot.
Did he share with you what his plans were, professional plans were, proceeding from the release of the Machiavelli album?
He wanted to get his label started, Machiavelli Records. He wanted to put out the Outlaws album that we was working on. It was supposed to be distributed by Death Row Records, and he was in talks with Quincy Jones to do some business with Quincy.
So Mr. Shakur's plan was to imprint his own record company, but have it distributed by Death Row Records.
That's what he told us.
Seal passes.
Cross-examination, Mr. Simt.
Mr. Greenidge, thank you for being here today. Just with regards to the last thing that Steve had asked you, the work that Mr. Shakur was going to do with Quincy Jones, did that involve Death Row Records?
No.
So it was work that he was going to do on his own, like maybe movies and a few other things with Quincy Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, and that's only just for the record. Now, in terms of the Death Row label, do you know whatever happened with that label? The business itself?
I think it's still going to this day.
And in terms of the label, do you know who's currently on it?
Do I know who's currently on it?
Yes, sir.
I do.
Yeah, at the time of when Tupac was killed, who was on the label at that particular point?
It was a lot of artists.
Well, give us the ones that you...
Snoop Dogg, the Dog Pound, Lady of Rage, Tupac, MC Hammer.
So, for instance, with Snoop Dogg, did he at some point, is he still currently on the label as far as you know?
Is he currently on the label?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure what label Snoop Dogg is on.
Okay. And I'm sure MC Hammer hasn't made any albums lately, right?
That I cannot say yes or no to it either. I don't pay that much attention.
Now, so your testimony here today is that you drove into town with Tupac, Tupac's fiance, and somebody else in a Lexus. Is that a yes?
That's correct.
And that would have been, what day was that exactly? The day of the fight, the day before?
That was the day of the fight.
So, so you arrived into Las Vegas with the morning of Saturday? The fight's on Saturday?
It was late afternoon.
Okay. And the intention was that you all, including Mr. Shakur, would be staying at the Luxor.
That's correct.
You meet up with Mr. Shakur at the MGM.
Mr. Shakur and Mr. Knight were coming out as we were going in.
Okay. And when you say coming out, we're talking about coming out of the property itself.
Correct.
So, and when that happened, what did you do next?
We turned around and started going back the other way, back to the Luxor.
All right. So you all returned back to the Luxor.
Correct.
And was there a plan at that particular point to do anything?
Get dressed.
And what was the purpose of getting dressed?
Mr. Shakur had a performance to do that night.
I see. And do you know where the performance was?
It was at Club 662.
Okay. And do you know where the location of Club 662 is?
I do not.
All right. So everyone got dressed in their separate rooms? Yes?
Correct.
And then you came back down and you were picked up by somebody, or did you just drive your own vehicle?
We were in a Lexus that was belonging to Kadada Jones. Tupac Shakur and Suge was in Suge's car.
All right. And you said there was a caravan of vehicles. I think the question was asked, do you know how many vehicles was in that caravan that came through the Luxor?
I do not.
All right. But in terms of where you were in relation to Suge's vehicle, how many vehicles back were you from Suge's vehicle?
We were directly behind him.
I see. And then when you leave the Luxor, where did you go next?
We went to go head to Club 662. That was what I was told where we were going.
Okay. But what did you eventually end up over at Suge's residence? Suge's
Yeah.
residence? Okay. So even though you said, okay, we're going to go to Club 662, ultimately you actually went to Suge's residence first.
Correct.
All right. And do you know what the reason was for that?
I don't.
But, and fair to say, since you've been to his residence, it's a gated community?
I don't remember how we got in. I don't remember if it was gated or not.
Okay. But you were there at Suge's residence, and at some point the caravan leaves Suge's residence and then starts heading towards 662.
Correct.
All right. Now, on the moment of the shooting, your testimony is you saw what you believe to be a white, was it a white Cadillac?
Correct.
Now, do you recall giving a statement to police officers that same morning or so that you thought it was either going to be a white or cream-colored Cadillac? You didn't know for sure?
I don't remember what my statement was 30 years ago.
In addition to that, when you observed the driving conduct of Suge in the BMW, he made a U-turn and went back onto Las Vegas Boulevard.
I don't know where he was going. That's where he ended up.
Okay. And so at some point you all stopped because he stops.
Right.
And you get out of your vehicle to render aid to Tupac.
No, it wasn't to render aid. It was to see how he was doing.
Okay. And so when you approach Tupac, at that particular point, he warns you and says, and I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I wrote it down, get on the ground, they're going to shoot you. Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Correct.
And that would have been because right behind you were police officers with a shotgun.
Correct.
So that's all I have on this one. Thank you so much for joining me. Please put any, questions or comments in the comment section. And if you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe so I can bring you more content. And otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of your evening.